I used to believe I had married the love of my life, until I stumbled upon something that completely shattered that illusion. My wife, Bailey, 33, and I have been together for nearly a decade. I'm 34 now, and when we first met through coworkers, I was still nursing the emotional wounds from a deeply toxic, even abusive, relationship. That relationship had ended with zero contact. I'd blocked my ex on everything. Bailey knew of her, but they weren't close, just acquaintances. When Bailey came into my life, it felt like everything I'd been missing had finally arrived. She was kind, supportive, the perfect mix of personality and warmth I craved. We got married shortly after the pandemic and bought our first home together. Starting a family was a priority, but conceiving was tough due to Bailey's PCOS. After years of trying, she gave birth to our daughter last year. Becoming a father has been one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. Everything finally seemed right. That is, until last Monday. Bailey wasn't home, and I needed to check some tax information. My laptop had died, so I used her work tablet, which has a keyboard and works like a small computer. We've always had a mutual understanding when it comes to privacy, no passwords or boundaries with tech. It's how our relationship has always functioned. I never imagined I'd uncover what I did. When I opened the browser, I saw that an incognito window had been left open. I got curious and clicked on it. There, I found a Google account I didn't recognize, signed in and synced. It had an album named Double X. Thinking it might be private work material or something unrelated, I clicked on it without much thought. What I found made me feel physically sick. There were exactly 348 images in the album. All of them were of my ex-girlfriend. Some were casual family pictures, others looked like they were pulled from her work events, even old-school yearbook photos. There were screenshots from public videos, cropped images where everyone else had been scribbled out. Just my ex remained. Some were zoomed-in pictures of her face or hair. Others were clearly taken from social media, though she barely posts. Bailey had somehow gathered photos from sources I can't even comprehend. Even pictures of her water bottle, clothes, boots. Bailey had bought identical items. And then it hit me. Over the past few years, Bailey had gradually changed. New hobbies, new wardrobe, new hairstyle. All the changes I once attributed to growth or curiosity now seemed like mimicry. She hadn't just admired someone's style. She was trying to be her. She was turning herself into the woman I used to be with, the same one who emotionally wrecked me. Another album contained only close-ups of my ex's hair. There were saved screenshots of comment threads from obscure posts. There were notes, links to items my ex had worn, and similar clothing stored in shopping carts. It wasn't just appearance. Bailey had recently started expressing interest in the same career my ex pursued. Something she'd never shown interest in until I casually mentioned it years ago. Looking back, the puzzle pieces began fitting together in the worst possible way. The more I looked through the contents of that account, the more disturbed I became. I couldn't breathe. I was nauseated. I sat there looking at our baby, feeling a wave of betrayal I can't describe. My marriage, everything I thought it was, suddenly felt false. Had she pursued me because she loved me, or because she wanted to become the woman I once loved? I haven't confronted Bailey yet. I don't even know how. Part of me wants to pack my bags, take our daughter, leave the printed photos on the kitchen table, and disappear. I'm not even sure I want an explanation. I feel emotionally violated. Some people might laugh this off or say it's just admiration taken too far, but to me it's psychological torment. I feel tricked. Our relationship feels manufactured. And what's worse is that she kept feeding this obsession all throughout our life together. Silently copying, collecting, transforming. Someone mentioned that this kind of digital hoarding and obsession might point to mental health issues like OCD. I'm not a therapist, and I'm not trying to diagnose her. But whatever the reason, I know this isn't normal. Right now, I'm living in a house with a woman I no longer recognize. I don't know if anything she's ever said or done was really her. And honestly, I'm terrified of what comes next. For a while, whenever I spoke about my ex to my wife, it was mostly negative. I never portrayed her in a good light. My wife knew the history, she knew the trauma. Sure, I had mentioned some surface-level facts about her job and hobbies, but nothing deep. Everything else she knows? She likely pieced together through heavy online snooping, digging into my ex's friends, family, even old yearbooks. I honestly have no clue how she managed to find some of the things she did. It's been 3 months and 21 days since I first shared what happened, and I'm still overwhelmed. The messages and support from others who face something similar, on either side of the situation, have truly humbled me. To clarify, no, I didn't actually vomit. I was mid-panic attack when everything came crashing down. I'd found tabs open on the work tablet. Some were shopping sites for clothing and objects. But one tab was still logged into Google Photos. As I flipped between tabs, I noticed the Google Photos tab had auto-signed out. I couldn't log back in. The disturbing part? I recognized some of the clothes in the photos, not because they looked familiar from my past, but because I saw them recently on Bailey. I clearly remember when she bought a particular water bottle, same one that appeared in the pictures. Her hairstyle? My ex used to wear her braids a specific way. Not a totally unique style, but enough that, when paired with everything else, it struck a nerve. For a moment, I actually wondered, could Bailey have known my ex before she met me? Could this be some kind of long game? But logically it doesn't fit. My ex only moved here for university. Bailey's always lived here. There's no way she could have been stalking her in person before I came into the picture. Plus, my breakup with my ex had absolutely nothing to do with Bailey. Once I calmed down, I tried to get help. I called therapists and social workers, hoping to arrange a setting where I could confront Bailey. Unfortunately, everywhere that accepted our insurance had a long wait list. I've known Bailey almost a decade. Even in my worst moments of confusion, I didn't believe she was dangerous. So instead, we dropped our baby off with her mom and went for a walk. I didn't sugarcoat it. I told her straight up that I had found the folder. She froze. Her face turned red. At first, she tried to brush it off, but I didn't let her deflect. Eventually, she broke down crying, begging me not to leave. What she confessed next left me speechless. It started as harmless curiosity. She was keeping tabs on my ex. Then it spiraled. She became obsessed. She said she didn't know who she really was and began modeling herself after my ex. Not because she wanted to become her, but because she thought it would make me happy. She admitted that I probably spoke about my ex more than I realized, and that she'd clung to the parts that seemed good. It became a game to her, searching for the same items, tracking down obscure things online like blue water bottle with green stripe, comparing every photo to find a match. She even made fake social media accounts. Found my ex's new Facebook through a relative, added mutuals until she was accepted into her private Instagram. She wormed her way into an old exercise group just to see the videos. She tracked down yearbook archives online. The original photo folder was labeled something cryptic, Hexthex, in case I found it, with the plan to pass it off as some kind of spell thing. Later, she deleted it and made a new one called Double X. And that's when she got careless. That's when I found it. We took time apart after that. Eventually, we began couples therapy. Bailey started seeing her own therapist too. A psychiatrist is still pending, but it's in the works. She deleted the album in front of me and slowly, the clothes started disappearing from her wardrobe. The mimicry stopped, including the braids. Still, I don't fully trust her. That's something I need to process. I'm scared she has another hidden account or backup folder. The truth is, we're not in a healthy place right now. I want us to get better, and I know it won't happen overnight. If it turns out we can't repair this, I'll deal with that. But I see now that Bailey is deeply insecure, possibly struggling with serious mental health issues. She got lost trying to be someone she thought I'd love more. I'm not ready to walk away just yet. I know that might not make sense to everyone, but it's where I'm at. Hopefully if I ever share more, it'll be good news.